Welcome back to the Final Fantasy XIV classroom. Today we will be discussing some history from the 5th Astral Era. Now, history is important. We must study the past to try to learn from our predecessors. And, in fact, it can also be exciting. I have a special lesson for you all today. As I was going over some of my books about the 5th Astral Era and some of the great civilizations of that time, I wondered about some of the smaller nations of the time who don't have much written about them. The great cities of Mach and Dapur and Nim are often the focus of discussion in regards to this era as the Great War of the Magi raged. But I have my sights set on a much smaller city. I imagine you here have all heard about the Warrior of Light and their great exploits. Did you hear about how they discovered the Mad King of Alamigo's treasure trove? It is very exciting. It was in fact hidden deep beneath Alamigo in a forgotten city, the ancient stone city of Skalla. We know very little about the people of Skalla, and so I thought it would be worth taking an expedition into the ruins to learn more. A class field trip. Now you better be on your best behavior. Now back in the 5th Astral Era, the Skallans decided to build their city into the sides of a deep ravine. We don't have any record of exactly what happened to the Skallan people. It's most likely that they were swept up in the War of the Magi. What we do know is that the coming of the 6th Umbral Era brought with it the 6th calamity, the calamity of water. What was once a deep ravine is now what we see here in front of us, what we now call Loxeld. Their whole city was swept underwater where it now rests. About 1,000 years after the flood, the great city of Alamigo was built unknowingly right on top of its ruins. Well, are you ready, class? Time to do some exploring. A drowned city indeed. Just look at these structures. If only we could have known those who made them. Prior to the Garlean occupation of Alamigo, the Mad King Theodric was in power. He was a power-hungry man who saw enemies in every shadow. He executed many people in his time, until the uprising in the year 1557, which would have Theodric take his own life rather than be torn apart by an angry mob. One of the more horrible things he did was have his thaumaturges turn many of his imagined enemies and even his own family members into horrible monstrosities. At some point, the king must have discovered these ruins and decided to keep his massive treasure trove down here. He used these monstrosities to guard the treasure here, but I'm sure the Warrior of Light and their companions cleared all of those monsters away for us. Perfectly safe. Wow, look class, these markings. I've never seen anything quite like these. I wonder what their lives were like. Did they have trade with nearby cities? Were they gifted in magic? There is still quite a lot of treasure down here. I know it was given back to Alamigo to be used to rebuild their nation. I suppose they have yet to use it all. There is so much of it. Now class, look here. Class? Now what are you all doing? This is no time for resting. Show some initiative. We are intrepid explorers for the day, and I plan to make the most of it. Get up, get up. Now, someone hand me my notebook. I simply must take some engravings. Now, wasn't that an exciting trip? I'm sure you all learned quite a bit. I know I did. We should do more trips like this in the future. We may never know exactly what happened to the people of Skalla, but their drowned city remains as proof of their time here on Etheirys. Who knows, maybe their ancestors still walk among us unknowingly. Until next time!